Superstudio is an architecture firm founded in 1966 in Florence, Italy by Adolfo, Natalia, and Cristiano Toraldo di Francia. The two met while studying at University of Florence, along with Archizoom founder Andrea Bronzi. The two groups first premiered their work in the Superarchitettura show in 1966. Many of their projects had been originally published in Casabella magazine that ranged from fiction, storyboard, illustration, and photomontage. Superstudio had dismembered itself after 12 years of practice. After several years, other radicalists joined the group, including Roberto Magris, Alessandro Magris, Piero Frassinelli, and Alessandro Poli.
Superstudio followed the lead of Archigram, another unconventional firm that had a unique way of thinking. Superstudio is best known for their role it played in radical architecture. The Italian radical period is a term often used in the 1960s through the mid-70s to emphasize some of the extreme of shape, structure, or more usually the leftist political position of its creators. When approaching a project, Superstudio established a research agenda which was made of three parts: architecture of the monument, architecture of the image, and technomorphic architecture. Architecture of the image was Superstudio's principal source of investigation. Some of the techniques they incorporated from diverse sources were collage, pop art, cinema, and data. The use of capturing the image of architecture is famously known in their Continuous Monument project.
The Continuous Monument was a project produced by Superstudio in the summer of '69. The work was made up of the now famous black grid on white background concept, which could be applied to any project at any scale. What the Continuous Monument did was not tie down a piece of architecture to a specific site, but rather something that superseded all previously known conditions. The monument became an object that floated above existing architecture, framing pockets of past into spaces within the continuous structure of the future. The monument revolutionized the way architecture thought about space and how one occupied it.
Superstudio wrote ultimately the grid would form a single continuous environment, the world rendered uniform by technology, culture, and all other inevitable forms of imperialism. This would allow for a truly democratic human experience. Because every point on the grid is identical, no place is better than any other.
Successors of the radical movement include Rem Koolhaas,
Zaha Hadid,
and Bernard Tschumi. Superstudio was more than a radical firm that wanted to counteract to the modern European movement. The firm also built furniture pieces that incorporated their famous black-on-white grid, most notable their iconic Coderna table, which is still in production by Zanota.
Although Superstudio was together for only 12 years, these 12 radical years helped architects still to this day think about how they perceive architecture. Their thought process and critical analysis of our surroundings were questions that architects never dared to ask until they stepped foot onto the scene. Superstudio has opened the doors for young architects to follow in their lead and open their eyes to what is really around us. On that note, we leave you with a quote.